Friends, one sannyasin has asked that his parents, particularly his mother, harasses him very much while he is meditating. He says to him that why are you wasting your time sitting here doing nothing? Whom you are bluffing by closing your eyes? It is better to read the Bible or go to the church and pray to God, or do some virtuous actions. This is what you call meditation, is simply selfishness. The sannyasin has asked me, what is your answer? It is one of the most important questions. It has been asked to every sannyasin by their family, friends, priests, teachers. They think meditation is selfish because you are trying to know yourself. Do some good work for others. It has many implications to be understood. First, in one's unconsciousness, one cannot do any virtuous act. Virtue comes out of deep meditation. Virtue is a flower of your realization that you are eternal, immortal, that you are divine. Sharing that divineness is virtue. There is no other virtue in existence. But all the religions, particularly Christianity, goes on emphasizing, do the virtuous act. Don't sit silently. It is selfish. I have to ask first, when you succeed as a rich man, nobody says to you, it is selfish. Everybody praises you, that is great. When you succeed as a politician and become a president, or a prime minister, nobody says it is selfish. Everybody praises you. $30 million are being spent in celebrating President Bush for his success. Success is not selfish. Do you see the point? Being super rich is not selfish. Creating materials for destruction of the world is not selfish. Accumulating nuclear weapons is not selfish. And what is your virtue? Is it unmotivated? Are you not being virtuous, doing service to the poor or the sick or the orphans in order to get into paradise and all its pleasures? It is simple business. Who says it is virtue? I am reminded of an ancient Chinese parable. There used to happen in the capital of China every year an annual festival. Millions of people gathered. The fair lasted for 1 month. Even the emperor used to come to inaugurate it. But in those days in China, the water wells were not protected by a wall. In darkness, one could easily fall into a water well because there was no wall as a protection. A man fell into a well. It was getting dark and his eyesight was not good. He was almost blind. He shouted for help, but millions of people, there was so much noise. Who is going to hear him? A Confucian monk passed by the side of the well and he heard the noise of the man asking for help to be taken out of the well. The Confucian monk said to him, "Don't be worried. Our master Confucius has written in his books that every water well should have walls. And I am going to create a tremendous uproar in the country." The poor man said, "By the time you create the great uproar in the whole country and all the wells start having protecting walls, I will be dead. Just think of me first." He said, individuals don't matter. What matters is society. That is the Confucian idea. That is the idea of all socialists. Individual does not matter. China becoming communist, nobody has explored the reason why India has not become communist. It is Confucius. 25 centuries, Confucius has been held in tremendous respect. So when Karl Marx became available to the Chinese, it was very fitting with the Confucian idea, the individual does not matter, what matters is the society. The Confucian monk said to the man, "Anyway, any day you are going to die. So why not now? I cannot waste my time. I am going to create the revolution that will bring walls to every well in the whole country. Think of your children." And the man went away. The man in the well thought, it's strange. I'm dying here and that idiot is going to create revolution. A Buddhist monk passed by. He looked in the well. The man said, Buddha has taught compassion. You should save me, I am dying. And it is getting darker and colder. The Buddhist monk said, be patient. It is your past life's evil acts that you have fallen into the well. Millions of people are here, nobody has fallen into the well. You must have committed very evil acts, murder, rape. It is better to clear the account. And Buddha has also said, never interfere into anybody's life. Just forgive me. I cannot interfere into your life. If I pull you out, you will fall again, because your punishment for the evil acts of the past life is not complete. So what is the point? Just die and be reborn fresh, without any past evil acts hanging around you. The man was so amazed that these people are religious people. And the Buddhist monk went. It is the logical consequence of Buddha, Mahavira, Krishna. All the Indian philosophies teach it. You will not believe that one of the Jaina sects, Therapant, whose head is Acharya Tulsi, it has 1700 monks and 3 times more nuns. It is one of the very strong fold, very rich, super rich people belong to that sect. The original man who created the sect separate from the mainstream Jainism, his basic point was that if somebody is drowning, you should not interfere. That is the logical consequence of believing in past life and evil acts and their punishment. If somebody is hungry, you should not interfere. If somebody is thirsty, you should not even tell him the way to the river. And moreover, interfering in the nature's course will create bad karmas for you. For example, you pull out a man from the well, and tomorrow he commits a murder. Do you think you are also responsible for it or not? Logically, it seems to be perfectly right. If you had not saved the man, he would not have committed the murder. You are 50% responsible. You saved him, he committed the murder. Now you will have to suffer for saving the man Whatsoever he does from onwards, you will be responsible for his whole life. You have unnecessarily disturbed his finishing of the punishment, and you have created, on the other hand, evil acts for which you will suffer in your future life. The statement, the philosophy is logical but absolutely against life. Is logic more important than life? And as far as I am concerned, every act brings its punishment just as a shadow. You don't have to suffer in your future life. Right now you murder, why nature should wait that long for punishment? You put your hand in the fire. I had told Acharya Tulsi, and he has been angry with me since then, is speaking against me every kind of lie. The reason is personal, because I told him before 50,000 people that your whole philosophy is absolutely ugly and obscene. You put your hand into the fire right now, and let us see whether your hand burns now or in the future life. He had nothing to say. And his own people, those 50,000 were his own people. They laughed and they clapped. That hurt him very much. Action brings its reaction immediately. It follows without any gap. Why there should be such a long gap? But the reason is, you see right now all kinds of mean people being successful. How do you explain it? All kinds of cunning people being prime ministers, becoming presidents, becoming super rich, just by sheer squeezing people's blood right now. How do you explain it? The religions have been saving the vested interest. They had to find some way. This was a good strategy. Nobody is making you poor. You are suffering from your past life's acts, evil acts. And the rich, they are enjoying their past life's good acts, virtuous acts. Do you see the cunningness of the argument? Neither you know anything about your past life, neither you know anything about your future life. Your real problem is dissolved into smoke. So thick a smoke you cannot see beyond it. The Buddhist monk moved out, and he was followed by a Christian missionary. The Christian missionary was carrying a bucket and a long rope. He immediately threw the rope and the bucket into the well, pulled the man out. The man said, "You are the only religious man." He said, In fact, I should be grateful to you. Because unless you fall in the well, I cannot earn virtue. I am against the Confucian idea that every well should have a wall. Then nobody will be falling. And for whom I am carrying the bucket and the rope? No walls are needed. Otherwise, whole virtue, all morality, all service will disappear from the world. Bertrand Russell has made a very important statement that if there is no poverty, there will be no religion. Whom you are going to serve? If there is no death, all churches, all religions will become absolutely useless, invalid, out of date. They are surviving because of poverty, because of death, because of disease, because of orphans. That's why they are all against birth control. Because birth control can destroy the whole poverty and all the orphans can be starved coming into the world. What will happen of poor Mother Teresa? Who will give her a Nobel Prize? Orphans are absolutely needed. Otherwise, Mother Teresa's will disappear. Poverty is needed. That's why they go on continuously being against all birth control methods. It has nothing to do with God. They need the poor people because their religion teaches them if you serve the poor, if you open the hospitals for the poor, if you open the schools for the poor, you are earning great bank balance in paradise. This is not unselfishness. Who says it is unselfish? It is more selfish than anything you can find in the world. A motivation to exploit poor people, people who have fallen in the wells, people who are dying, people who are sick, people who are orphans. You are taking great advantage. All religions say you will have great pleasures in heaven. Beautiful women will be available to all the saints who have done virtuous acts. It's strange. Here you say celibacy, and on all the paradises of all the religions, celibacy is no more applicable. Do you see the contradiction? If a man has been celibate here for 60, 70 years, he will become habitually a celibate. And then he goes into heaven and finds beautiful girls. They remain always at the age 16. Since eternity. They have never grown up. They don't perspire. They don't need any deodorant. Their breath does not smell. They don't need any mouthwash. It seems they are made of plastic. No perspiration. Do you know the meaning of it? If you paint your whole body, leaving your nose to breathe, paint thickly that all the pores in your skin are completely closed, you will die within 3 hours. Just your nose is not enough. Every pore in your skin is breathing in and out. Your whole body is a breathing system. Perspiration is a protection. You will die without perspiration. The function of the perspiration is to keep your inner temperature always the same. 100 and you are starting getting hotter inside. And the life span is very small, 12 degrees, from 98 to 110. If there is no perspiration and there is hot sun, how you are going to keep your temperature at 98 perpetually? The perspiration helps you. It distracts the heat from entering into your body. It distracts in a beautiful way. It cheats and deceives the sun. It gets the rays engaged into evaporating the perspiration. So the more heat is there, the more you will perspire. That perspiration is taking the heat into evaporating it and not letting it in. If you get in that much heat, you will burst immediately. By the time you are 105, you will fall in a coma. By the time you are 110, you will become beloved of the God. Stupid ideas. And if in heaven you are going to give people beautiful girls, in the Mohammedan heaven even beautiful boys are available for homosexuals, because they should not be deprived. And most of the saints are homosexual, perverted. Some provision has to be made for them in paradise. The women are called hoors, and the homosexual boys, beautiful boys, they always remain young, no mustache, no beard. So the saints can exploit them for their sexuality. They are called gilme. Strange, here you condemn sex and you make available not only heterosexuality, you make available homosexuality. And there are rivers flowing just of pure French wine. get drink, get drowned, swim, take a bath. And here, religions condemn all pleasures. Here you have to be a self-torturer. All religions are exploiting your tremendous greed in the name of virtue, in the name of unselfishness. As a fundamental principle, I want you to remember, an unconscious man cannot act without motivation. And motivation is selfishness. Whatever you do, I used to live in a city teaching in a university, and a beautiful marble temple was being made for years. I used to pass the road. 9 years I lived in that city. The temple was just coming up because they wanted it to make something rare. Some super rich man's father has died and it is his memorial. I had no idea. So one day I stopped my car and went inside where hundreds of marble people were working. I asked the chief that for what this temple is being raised. A man of great intelligence. He did not took me to the statue of Krishna, which was placed in the middle of the temple. I was thinking he will take me to the statue that the temple is being created for the Krishna. But he took me behind the temple. I said, "Where are you taking me?" He said, "To the right place." There was a big marble with the writing, "This temple is created by so and so in the memory of his great spiritual father." He said, "For this stone, the whole temple is being created." Krishna is just an excuse. The unconscious mind cannot do anything without motivation. What I will get, and religions promise in the future life, when you will reach to the pearly gates, Saint John will be standing there with all the angels, singing Alleluia, playing on their harps, and you are welcome. It seems to be worthwhile to give something in charity, to do some virtuous act. Unless an act is done without any motivation, it cannot be unselfish. I want you to understand that except meditation there is no act which is unselfish. Because it is only meditation which is going to dissolve yourself, which is going to dissolve you into the whole. And once you are no more, whatever you do is going to be without motivation. Virtue comes out of a person who has become one with existence. Meditation is the door. Meditation is the only unselfish act. But apparently it looks people who are engaged in meditation are just thinking of themselves, not bothering about the whole humanity. Absolute nonsense. The people who are engaged in meditation are the only people who will find a place where there is no self and all selfishness disappears. And their whole life, their whole love, their whole compassion will be unmotivated. Whatever they will do will be virtue. Because virtue can come only of a conscious mind, absolutely conscious mind. In the conscious mind, totally conscious, there is not a single shadow of self. Totally conscious mind becomes qualitatively different from your unconscious mind. Hence it has been called no mind, just to make the difference. Otherwise you will get confused. Mind is what you have. No mind is the search of the meditation. And from no mind blossom flowers of unselfishness, of love, of compassion, of sharing.